This game is going to blow up. I'm not sure if it's actually physically going to blow up. It'd be pretty cool. Could you imagine buying a game and everything blows up? Wow, that's pretty awesome. Maybe, depending upon the explosion size. It could be bad. Let's see what game he's talking about.
The virtual reality gaming landscape is starving for excellent military and tactical shooter games. There's just not a lot of options out there, and there haven't been any truly significant attempts to bring a major title to market with a wide appeal across major platforms.
I like the
If you guys have been around this channel for any amount of time, then you know I'm an enormous advocate for virtual reality gaming, and I also believe it is destined to have a significant impact on the way that armed professionals train in the future. I've said it time.
It's also going to have a significant impact on the gaming industry. It already has. The momentum is building up. VR, I say, the VR is going to be crazy by the time. VR is going to be what we all want it to be in about 2033. I'm going to put that out there. I'm putting it out there right now. 2033, VR is going to be exactly what we pictured it to be 10 years ago. And we're going to get it 10 years from now.
And again, and I still believe it, virtual reality is magic. It is becoming increasingly more affordable. And if you are a gamer that doesn't yet own a virtual reality headset, well, it's time to take the leap, because the game that I'm going to be telling you about today is, in my opinion, the first significant, major, well-funded, and well-developed attempt to bring a tactical game to the market with broad appeal across multiple platforms and the ability to lure new gamers into virtual reality for the very first time. The game is called Ghosts of Tabor, and it's developed by Combat Waffle Studios.
I'm gonna contest that pronunciation. I think it's Tabor. Can I get a correct answer on that from the audience? Can somebody just go through all of the English dictionary to make sure? Tabor
happens to be a veteran-owned company, which obviously gives them bonus points in my book. And before I tell you more about their game, and in the interest of full disclosure, I think it's important to share with you that I have partnered with Combat Waffle Studios to help promote this game as they bring it to market in March of 2023. And while I'm obviously incentivized to tell you that Ghosts of Tabor is going to be a badass game, it's easy to tell you that because it's something that I genuinely believe. And this isn't a partnership that I went into lightly. I looked at this game deeply, and I even got hands-on the developer build before I agreed to do any sort of sponsored content. And after I took a look behind the curtain and saw how they're running their operation and how this game is being developed, the decision was a no-brainer. This is exactly the type of game that virtual reality needs. And it's exactly the type of game that I think has the potential to bring more people into the virtual reality space. And it is the kind of game that could have staying power and change the VR landscape for years to come.
Who doesn't love staying power?
So what is Ghosts of Tabor? Well, their website calls it a multiplayer virtual reality survival military shooter set in a post-apocalyptic war. They also claim that it's inspired by DayZ, Escape from Tarkov, and Arma. And I've seen evidence of all of
I think Fingers is correct. That the pronunciation is Tabor.
That in my playthroughs so far. It is a looter shooter at its heart, but it's also steeped in lore that's worth doing your research on. I'd encourage you guys to check out their website so you can read the little blurb on there that explains how you find yourself in this catastrophic post-apocalyptic wasteland. But the bottom line is that an internal strife in Eastern Europe resulted in a major global conflict, and eventually a tactical nuclear device is detonated, stranding combatants on the small island off the coast of Tabor. And it is in this environment that you, as a member of one of these fledgling factions, find yourself stranded and have to figure out what actually caused the detonation and who is responsible for it. And while some of the gameplay loop is still in development, there's a very clear path forward.
There's so many different ways you can say this. Like, we're really going deep here. This is what we do on the channel. I'd like to go deep. Really trying to get to really trying to get the truth out of this, right? I mean, like, we've got so many different pronunciations here. I really like what I'm seeing from Minxie going a completely different route with the pronunciation of it, saying Tabor. It's Tabor. Now, like, Tabor is very good. I like Tabor. I like Tabor. Oh, Hugh Free's going with a slightly Tabor, like the Tabor. I don't know what I like the best. I do like Tabor. Like, I feel like Tabor. I feel like I'm George Takei when I say Tabor. Oh my, Tabor. Tabor.
with you what I've experienced so far in the developer and the tester builds that I've been able to enjoy. Like some other games in the genre, Ghosts of Tabor uses a hub and spoke style game design. This means that when you begin the game, you start off in a safe house, your safe house, a place that you can make and create as your very own. You have an arms room.
Wait, I can make and create my own house in VR, which I can store my assets in, and from the game. Hold on 1 second. Magic! Wait a second. You grabbed me with that one, sir. You grabbed me with that one. I'm not even worried about the pronunciation anymore. I don't care if it's TABOR, TABOR. You've kind of grabbed me with that information right now. You
can store all of your equipment, and as you bring more equipment out of raids, you can actually take those guns, and rather than storing them in some sort of user interface menu system like you would on a traditional non-VR game, because you're in virtual reality, your inventory is the arms room. So you take out that AKM.
All right, loving it. I'm already in love with this game. I have not even played it yet. I'm already in love with everything. This is what gamers want. This is exactly what gamers want. They want to have their own place that they can build and put their equipment in and have like an arms room. They want this. This has been something that we wanted for a very long time. And to have this in VR is all types of... Who are the developers here? Yes, who are the developers? Holy moly, this is exactly what I want. Have a little bit of survival in it. If it has a little bit of survival in it, dudes, that'd be nuts.
That you pulled off of a dead guy from a raid, and you clear it, and you store the magazine on the wall, and it puts it in a little rack, and then you take your AKM, and you can put it on the wall in its own little rack, and then you can go over to your storage area, and you can take out the food that you may have scavenged while you were in your raid, and you can put it on the shelves.
Food? Did I just hear food? My mind is completely blown right now. I can't... I want this. I want everything about this game right now. I can't contain myself. I want some TABOR.
You can organize your medical supplies, and you can really make this area your own space. And if you're like me,
hungry,
that
Elsie,
sort of persistent feeling of making progress and making a piece of the game your very own is extremely enticing, and it gives you a sense of ownership and persistence and progression. What I also found extremely cool is that in your arms room, you can actually walk over to this workbench that's behind your weapon rack, and you can take your weapons and you can drop them into a gun vise so that you can work on them.
What?
This means that
what? You can craft your weapons. You can customize your weapons. My mind. I can't handle it anymore. I can't. What's going on? There's so many things happening to me right now.
That if you happen to pick up a red dot on a weapon system, or you find it in a loot crate, you can stuff it in your backpack, and when you come out of the raid, you drop your gun into the vice, you walk over there, and you can take that red dot, and you can slap it onto the pick rail of your M4 or your AKM if you have the slide rail adapter. And then you can customize your weapon as you see fit. You can throw a suppressor on it. You can put a grip on it, and you can really make it your own and increase your capabilities so that when you go out again, you're even more prepared for the next fight. And if you don't find all of the loot that you want in your raids, you can also earn currency and then take that currency to the...
Listen, back to food talk. Seriously, back to food talk real quick. I'm sorry, Elsie. I'm getting so ravenously hungry. I'm going to have to stop the stream if I keep talking about this. But let me just sing. Since we're talking about some of my favorite cuisine, man. Mexican food. Listen, it's the chimichanga. It's the chimichanga. I mean, like, really, when you go to a Mexican restaurant, it's all about the chimichanga, man. Everything about the chimichanga, delicious. I mean, we got a burrito that you've put together that's one step better than a burrito. It's evolved itself and fried itself. You can't tell me that there's anything better to eat at a Mexican restaurant than a chimichanga. Chimichanga is an evolution of traditional Mexican food right there on your plate to devour. I prefer the chicken chimichangas, right? All day long song. I will eat those. But I have been on this diet. By the way, I would like to congratulate myself. Please send me some love here. I am down 53 pounds. What? Thank you, everyone. You're getting a leaner, meaner DG in 2023. Oh, shit. You see what I did there, Pepe? You see what I did there? You see what I did there? I did. You see what I did there? I see what you did there. Did you see what I did? Did you see what I did? I see what you did.
A TABOR market where you can walk around with a literal handheld scanner and go shopping for more gear. You walk up to the wall, look at the weapon that you want to purchase. You can actually take it off the shelf. You can work the action. You can manipulate the safety. You can aim down the sights, and you can really get a feel for what that weapon is going to do and how it's going to perform. And if you choose to buy it, you scan it with your handheld scanner, walk over, check out, and it delivers it all back to your safe house. You go back to the safe house, you push a little button, and all those things that you...
Hugh Freeze, don't argue to me. Don't argue. Hugh Freeze, last night, you can see Pepe a lot. Pepe, tonight you got something special for us at the after, like a song at the end of the show, right? We see Pepe all the time here. Pepe is here. I was just singing with him, jamming out last night at the most epic stream I've ever had last night. It was a party till 3 a.m. and here I am again. 3 hours later, streaming for an additional 4 hours for you guys. It never stops. It never stops here. It never stops.
You purchased at the market come flowing down the conveyor belt. You can yank them off the conveyor belt, take them over into your arms room, and complete your build before you go. No.
The best thing about this channel, Minxie, is we watch what you watch. Oh, what? Oh, what? That's right. We are a crazy, natural, organic algorithm that's magical. Yes. We watch what you watch. That's right. Just go to our Discord. Check out our Discord. Plug it in the Look at This DG section. We aren't a capitalistic YouTube algorithm that feeds you crap. Just because you click on a cat video, we don't give you another 1,000 videos of cats here on the channel. No, these videos are hand-selected by you. They're all over the place. They're tech, they're games, anything and everything, music. You just put it in there. You just put it in there, Minxie. Wait. That doesn't. I know that didn't sound right, Pepe. I know that didn't sound right. Don't listen. That wasn't sexual, Minxie. Don't listen to Pepe. Oh my God, Pepe, you're embarrassing me. I was talking about the link. You have to make everything sexual, Pepe.
Go into the next fight.
Sorry,
the game already features multiple vendors, so as you pull stuff out of raids, whether that's equipment that you don't want to keep, or it's items like GPUs or other specific equipment that's extremely valuable on the marketplace, you can haul it out in your backpack, go over to the vendors, sell those items to certain vendors to increase your reputation with them, which will lead to more favorable trade negotiations with that specific vendor in the future. You can also accept missions, which will give you specific tasks to carry out whenever you're actually in a raid conducting operations. These missions can vary from kill X number of bad guys or collect X number of items or any other thing that you could possibly imagine. And if you complete those missions and you come back and you report completion, you get rewarded in the form of credits and reputation for doing so. The developers are also working to include your basic survival mechanics in the game as well. So things like hydration and food will become even more important.
Wow,
and it'll influence the way that you stock and store and use consumables to make sure that you can stay in the fight.
Not one bad thing.
So how about that gameplay? I know you guys are curious to learn more of what the actual raids are like, and I'm here to tell you about it. At this point, I've had the opportunity to do 10 or 15 raids, and it's all been in this one map called Missile Silo, which is a mostly underground bunker-style environment that is extremely dark, that has areas where you can't hardly see even your hand in front of your face or the contents of a loot container that might be buried in a dark corner. But sprinkled throughout this entire environment are these red lights and these white floodlights and backup generator lights that create little hot spots of ambient light. So as you move through the environment, you have to pay very close.
I'm going to tell you right now. VR right now encapsulated, if I were to draw the analogy for you, is in the Nintendo 64 stage. Like VR... Even though it's been out, VR has been being developed for over a decade now, seriously, right? But it's still in the Nintendo 64 phase. It's GoldenEye. Like, we are in a golden era of VR right now. VR is in the GoldenEye Nintendo 64 phase. You understand? It's just going to launch. Within the next 10 years, it's going to be caught up to the point where we're, like, blown away completely.
This entire environment are these red lights. And
in terms of graphics, in terms of The physicality, yes, absolutely is in the Nintendo 64 face. And in terms of the actual graphics on most games out there, you can take Bone Labs, you can take many titles, except for VR Chat. VR Chat's more social and more anime-ish, and it's a cool vibe. I really want to try it one day just to be silly. And Starlet invited me. I got to go in there. I know Elsie's involved in that as well. I eventually want to go in there. Thrill Seeker and his girlfriend actually invited me and then never followed up on that. So I will shame Thrill Seeker, who's somebody I admired. And then just completely gave me the cold shoulder. So I'm shaming Thrill Seeker. I hate to do it. I love Thrill Seeker. I really do. He's a pioneer of the VR space. But shame on you for inviting me and then not following up with that. I just feel really sad inside. I feel really sad inside. But it's okay. It's okay. Starlet has given me an invite as well. I do want to save up some money. I do want to actually put some VR content on the channel. I think that would be great. 2023 is going to be a year where I'm saving up money for a new gaming rig and some VR equipment. I want to add more content to the channel. You guys deserve it. But I'm telling you, when I played the games, I said this earlier on stream, and I'll say it again for people just landing on the stream or watching this highlight for the first time and missed it. DG stands for the games, okay? When I'm playing a game, okay, I'm in it. I am in it to win it. When people watch me play games, they don't know who I am. They're like, DG, who are you? You're not talking at all. I'm a completely different man when I play the games. You understand? I take my games seriously. I'm in it. So people don't know how to handle me. You're going to see a very different DG playing games. You probably won't like him. I don't like him. He's a beast. He is a beast of a man who plays games to win. Watch out. It's scary. It's like Jekyll and Hyde. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde situation. Serious into my... Oh, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
These white floodlights and backup generator lights that create little hot spots of ambient light. So as you move through the environment, you have to pay very close attention to where you're standing and how you're maneuvering so other players and the AI are unable to detect you. And it also forces you to use your equipment very wisely. I managed to get my hands on some PVS 7 Generation 1 night vision goggles, and they're extremely effective whenever I'm working in those dark areas. But because they function very similarly to real-world night vision, if I'm staring directly at something that's extremely bright, the nods get washed out and it affects my vision. So I find myself having to take one of my hands off my primary weapon system, manipulate those PVS 7s on their Rhino mount up to the aft position, get them out of the way so that I can use my eyeballs to examine areas that are actually lit up by light, and then dropping those nods back.
Yep, Nintendo 64 phase. Still on physics and graphics, VR is still in the Nintendo 64 GoldenEye phase. And I'm happy it's even gotten to this point. You know, I remember before this point, it was very horrible. The VR space was a desolate gaming space. It really was. And then Bone Labs and all these games come up, and it gives me hope for the space, and I can't wait to see it. It looks like a cool game. It's time for the next video. Absolutely right. I like what you're doing, Red Bear. You're being professional, dude. Let's get to the next one.